First of all, I'd like to say that I moved here from New Mexico where I was a master gardener, and we moved here in May. In June, I started calling Megan to sign up for Master Gardeners in Delaware because I knew right away there was going to be a big difference between what I had been growing and planting and what I was going to be dealing with now. So this is all about how not to kill the plants that you plant in Delaware. So, welcome, welcome, welcome. We're going to go through the first slide, which is kind of we're not at fault and we're very open-minded.
And two, I just want to remind everyone that we are sharing this with people at home so they can hear a lot of the background noise. So just remember that.
So if you flip into there. Okay, just a reminder that we are equal opportunity employers and we do not discriminate based on race, gender, color, national origin, religion, sex, identity, sexual orientation, disability, age, merit, status, all of those things. Yes. Also, I might mention certain things on the table or show you certain things on the table, but we do not endorse any particular brand. So please don't go out to Home Depot or Lowe's and say, we're not buying your stuff because Toby said it all sucks. Anyway, basically, we're going to talk about why to do seeds. We're going to talk about seed parts. We're going to talk about the types of seeds and their various needs. We're going to talk about containers for growing seedlings, mediums for growing seedlings, or starter mix. I left out my X. And I proofread. Who can tell? What can we say? And then we're going to actually get to growing vegetables and flowers from seeds. So basically, this is about first you get your equipment and you get your seeds and get everything started. And then it's the luck of the draw. Okay? I plant 35 to 40 seedlings every session. I get 30 sometimes, I get 15 sometimes. I get 25 sometimes, I get 10. The marvelous thing about this is that they're cheap. Seeds are cheap. So you can practice and you learn and you experiment and you didn't spend $35 for a plant that died anyway. Okay, a seed has three parts. The seed coat, which is the outside part, and that's usually waxy to prevent water loss. The inside is the embryo or the tiny baby plant. And the rest of the material is food for the plant. The seed sprouts and it comes out and it's like a little head. Absolutely gorgeous. It's like a little head and sometimes like a little duck. The top of the seed will be on the seedling's head. It's absolutely mind-blowing. Why do you want to start seeds? It saves money. You get a better variety of choices. Better germination because you're in control of all of that. You get better control over pests and diseases because you know where those seeds came from. You know the environment that you planted them in. And so you get a good idea of what you're going to get back, or hopefully what you're going to get back. When you buy a plant from the store, did it pick up something in shipping? Did it pick up something in transportation? Did it pick up something at the store? Did it pick up something from the person who took it out of the truck and put it in the store? Okay. I think personally that things that you grow from seeds taste better. They're fresher, they're more flavorful, the color is amazing. So I think they taste better. Last but not least, it's fun and you learn something every single time. Every single time you plant a seed, you're going to learn something you didn't know. If not, you learned it, somebody else is going to say, oh, that's doing that because you did this. And you're like, oh, okay, tried it. All right, next slide. Seeds come in a variety of shapes and sizes. And so I'm going to pass out these. You could just kind of take a peek and whatever. They also require some different techniques for them to germinate. So for example, some seeds require that you soak them overnight in water. Some seeds require cold storage. Still, other seeds require you to like scrape the edge of the seed to break the wax coat, or even take a pair of clippers and clip off a tip so that the embryo can come out of the seed and grow. So you need to read your directions on your package. That's super important. Make sure the date is fresh and make sure that the seeds are sealed and there's no opening, leaks, or cracks. And then you follow the directions. As you can see from the handout that's going around, every size you can think of, a seed comes in it, from tiny, minute to beauty. I'm going to show you in a few minutes. The Dover Public Library is a good source for free seeds. They do flowers, they do vegetables, they do herbs, and it's totally free. So you just go up and pick it up.
And Kent County Library is gonna start
Seed
seed library
Seed
this
library?
month.
Yes, they do, and they're looking for volunteers to pack seeds. So you got a minute, go over and pack some seeds. The front gives you on the library things, they give you the sun, the water, when to plant, and then some ideas about how to plant. Other seed packets will give you depth, spacing, whatever. Some you can plant indoors, which is a lot more work. Some can go direct soil out in the ground, and we'll talk about that in a minute. Okay, this is my favorite. This is a morning glory. It's called a white morning glory, and I'll show you a picture of the flower later. It's about the size of a golf ball. It's light green and it's surrounded by stickers. On the inside, though, you can see the food, and then you can actually see the little seeds. Those seeds have to be soaked, and they're probably about the size of the tip of my fingernail. They have to be soaked, and then the tip has to be cut off. Then it has to sit there for a little while and decide whether it's happy or not. And then you actually put it in the ground.
So how do they grow in nature then?
It's a perennial vine if you're in a tropical area. In colder climates, it's called an annual. I planted mine in my backyard in 23, and it came back in 24 by itself. It dies down completely to a nub, and then it comes back. So it can be considered invasive in a different climate. If it's warmer, a lot warmer, it can be invasive. But it is a beautiful flower. The vine grows to about 15 feet tall. The flower itself is between 5 and 8 inches. It only opens up at night. So if you're driving past my house at night, you'll see this little white glow by the side of the house, and those are the morning glories. It's called the moonflower or white morning glory, and of course it has this really beautiful long Latin name. That's for Carla. Carla likes Latin names. Next one, please. Okay, let's talk about containers and starting mediums. You can start on the cheap the first go round. You can start with the egg carton. That'll hold just enough soil for you to plant a seed and actually get a seedling. When I first started, I used yogurt containers. Then I found a really good deal at a dollar store, and I got these little starter things. And these are really cute because you can actually take the whole thing and put it straight into the ground. But you can't find them all the time. So I would start with yogurt containers or juice containers. Here's another example. The little juice container you can get, punch a little hole in the bottom with a nail. The flat tops of yogurt or cheese or any of those things make great little stands. Now, so you can do this very cheap. Again, I found these at a dollar store, and they came with their own little dog. Okay, I was about to get more, they were gone. So it's, if in doubt, go the cheap route and get yogurt containers or juice containers. They're great starters, and you can wash them and use them over and over again. So That's a good way to get that done. If you were starting your garden for the first time, I strongly recommend that you have your soil tested. Because if you're going to put them outside, you need to know what you're going to be facing. So this gives you an idea. These are free. The soil kit to test is free. The test itself is $22. So give you a little bio on that. You'll get a bag. You'll go around, depending on whether you're doing lawn or garden or what, you go around in 7 different spots and get some soil, put it in a clean bucket, up a little bit, and then fill the bag up with this,
Oh, you
with
put
the
it in
soil.
you put it in a baggie to put in that.
Yes.
It comes with a bag.
Yeah, with
Yes.
the plastic
You
bag.
don't
Where's
put
my
it in
baggie?
a canvas.
Where's my baggie? I've been robbed. My baggie's been stolen.
She
Yes.
gave us the.
Yeah, okay. So you put it in the baggie. Oh, there it is. Oh, I didn't say my baggie's
But
gone.
she'll give you a different baggie because she said this one's better than that one.
Oh, it feels better. So I have an inferior baggie. Anyway, you put the soil in the bag. And then this is the important part. You fill out this form. And you tell them as much as you can about where you got this soil, how deep you dug to collect your soil, what are you going to use this soil for, et cetera, et cetera. It gets packed up with a check. You can drop it off here at Pardee, or you can mail it in if you want to. Goes all the way up to Newark, and Newark will test your soil. And not only will they tell you what your soil has, they will tell you what it needs, and they will recommend whatever you need.
Well, how deep should you go?
It depends. If you're doing a garden, I think it's 4 to 6 inches. And you want to scoop up in a couple of different places because your soil is not the same all the way across. Different areas are getting certain amount of sun, light, rain, water, whatever. So you want to go around 7 or 8 places and mix it all up together, and then you'll get a good general view.
Okay.
When I first planted my garden, and I think I have a picture for you. When I first planted my garden, I did a 6 foot wide, 35 foot long strip right in the middle of my grass. HMO was not happy with that, but I did it anyway. And so I picked those spots from within that area. And I got a really nice full description of what the soil needed and how much to do it in and et cetera. And so you'll see a lot of these pictures are from my yard. Also, you can use a wood container or you could use a feeding trough, which has a little hole at the bottom. And I grow glads, I grow peppers, I grow tomatoes, and I mix them in the same containers. They do really well. So we've talked about containers. We're now going to talk about soil. There are 3 kinds of soils that you can use to start your seeds. I'm going to start those around. And I'm going to hold these up. One is this little cone-shaped thing. You put the seed in the middle. First, you soak it in water, and it puffs up and looks very impressive. And you stick the seed on the inside, and you put it in the little cone-shaped tray, and your plant will grow out of that. Again, if you don't have to separate the plants out, because I put 2 seeds in everything, you can take this straight out and put it right into a larger pot or right into the ground. This one works in a similar fashion. You put it in water and you soak it. It has a little indentation. You set the seed right down in that, and it kind of swells up over the seed. Same thing, once it's ready to go, you could put it in a larger container, or you could put it straight into the ground. I use a planting medium, which I have today. You can add vermiculite, worm casings, perlite, and peat moss. So you only need one of these with regular soil. Do not use garden soil for your potting, for your planting. Garden soil is too coarse and it's also compact. It dries out really quickly and the seed can't come out. So you want to use something that's going to give the air light, fluffy.
Then what is garden soil good for?
Garden.
Oh,
You know, after the planting has established itself and you've actually got a plot of ground or you got a big container like this, you can put garden soil in there. But I mix it with something, sand, vermilionite, perlite, something so that you can get that soil loose and moving because you don't want heavy soil. Because heavy soil, the roots don't get the water and the air that they need and they'll die. Or you open them up for infection and disease. So you want to be very careful with that. Okay, so this is my actual planting last year. And as you can see, I have some in little pots. I have some in my little plastic containers. I have some in that little cube tray I told you about. And I have all my extras as they grow. As my plants get into this stage, you'll notice it has a second set of leaves. I tend to move it to a larger container. And I've used everything. Anything you could think of that I could put a hole in, I've used it to put my plants in.
I like that idea that you did where you actually put the seed packet around the thing so you could remember.
Yeah, so you
what
can keep it up because with this one, I think there were like 24 little holes there. And I'm not going to plant 24 onions or lettuce or, tomato seeds. So I needed some way to kind of separate out what I was doing so I knew what was what. I now found out that you can buy these little tiny plastic pointers that are like about 2 inches tall and they sit right down in the container. But, I said, I don't want to waste money. What if I hate this? And then I spent all of this money for all this fancy equipment. And okay. Plus, my husband is not a plant person. So he's like, how many pennies did you spend for that? How many pennies did you spend for that? So anyway, I get them out. I get into the second stage of seeds that you can see here. There's another place there. Then I move them to this container or one of these larger containers. And when they get a little bigger, they're usually time to go outside. I started most of my seeds in February, end of January to beginning of February. And they do really well. If you want to, you can buy seed trays, step up. I got one at Park Seeds for about $4. Had 24 little square things in it. And it worked great. I have like, you'll see the picture there. I think I have like 6 or 7 different things planted in just one of these containers. So they work really well. As you move on and get more involved in this, you might want to invest in a heating pad. So if you've got like a coal garage or maybe a coal hallway or a coal by the window thing and you want to make sure you get your plants stay nice and warm, you can do this. You can move up and actually buy a grow light, bunch of different kinds of these. Run about cheap, run about $20, $25, but they can be very expensive. My dream is to buy a full-fledged, as big as this table, suspended from the dining room. Lower it up. My husband isn't going along with that, but hey, nobody lives forever, right? So, okay. I make my own seed starting mix. And I use 1/3 of the potting soil, 1/3 of peat moss, 1/3 of perlite, a little 10-10-10. Be very light with the fertilizers, because you don't want to add a lot of stuff that your ground might already have or don't need. So be very light on that. But for your little trays and your little pots, a little bit of 10-10-10. And you can see this, it's a lot lighter than soil. And so the baby, tiny, bitty thing can come out of that and develop its leaves and begin to grow. So that's a biggie. Okay. Again, we start to spend money.
Question.
Yes, I'm sorry.
When you said 10, what's the 10?
It's a fertilizer. And it's a really low grade fertilizer.
It has that on the back, number 10-10-10.
Yeah, and that's
So it might say 10-5-20, 10-10-10. I forget what.
NPK.
NPK.
Nitrogen.
NPK.
Nitrogen.
Test it.
And like nitrogen.
Yeah.
Phosphorus and potassium.
Okay.
I mean.
So once you start spending money, oh my God, there's a whole new world lit up after that, okay? You want to get a moisture light. And this way you can stick it down in the soil and it'll give you temperature. Because if you just feel on the top, it's like, that's not really wet. So I'm going to add some water. Too much water, too little water, bad, super bad. So you get your meter, your moisture meter, and you stick it all the way down, and it's giving you the reading of the soil from the bottom of the pot to the top. So you're getting an accurate reading, not just you stick your finger in it. Hey, okay. That's not that. Then you need a light meter, because you got your plants in the window and you're seeing lots of sun and you're like, hey, I'm doing okay here. But if you get a light meter, you may find out that your plant isn't getting as much light as it needs to grow. So you need a light meter. Again, you want to stick it right where you got the plant, and it's going to tell you you're okay. It has a green and red. We all know what green and red means.
So that's for both the
That has
moisture
both.
and the light.
Okay, I bought a cheapie, but this one is moisture, light, and pH. So you got all of that. But remember, cheap is dear. So
Where did you say where you bought that?
I got that at Amazon. Amazon and I are good friends. Okay. Next slide.
Oh, and no battery.
Oh, we are on the next slide. Okay. All right. I used my grow light on this one up here at the top, and it did really well. And I got some beautiful plants out of that. I did the little flat seed pots, not so good for me. Now, I don't know whether it was the way I planted them or the amount of water they got or whatever, but I did not find this worth the price. This, on the other hand, did very well, and I was very happy with that.
Well, which used up at the top?
The
You use your own
little
mix?
cubes.
Oh, the cubes, okay.
Yeah, where,
Okay.
yeah,
Yes,
the little cone-shaped ones,
right.
and they fit very nice in the tray,
Right.
and they did really well. This I didn't have good luck with, but that's not to say you won't. You know, it might be something that works very well for you. But you got an option.
Yes, that's a no.
Yes.
Right.
So,
Yes.
so when you put the
Yes,
seed, the yes in that pot,
Down in the real small.
Right.
yeah, it's a little small hole that they sit down in, and then you just mist them. You don't really want to water them, you just want to mist them. Just, okay,
Yeah, this one you soak in the water
yeah,
and it expands and it'll get about that tall.
yeah.
Yeah, we did that last year. It didn't work good for
Yeah.
us.
I think maybe they might be old, I don't know.
Their pH is real low
could just-
too.
Where do you
buy the cone? She says you
Where do
get
you find this cone sheet?
I bought them online And it came with this little kit. And I think if you just go online and look for a starter seed kit, you'll get a whole bunch of choices. And you have to kind of figure out what works. Okay. Excuse me.
Yeah. Yeah. I got a lot of questions.
Okay.
So if you put that spike piece in a little hole, then you put the seed on the top of it, or how does that
You
work?
just kind of push it down.
Push it
You gotta,
down
you know,
in
you
it.
gotta push it down. I found a
Now,
pencil,
while it's dry, or do?
wet, no,
Wet.
make it wet. Both of those need to be wet.
Got it, got it.
Yeah,
Remember, the people at home can only hear when one person talks at a time.
sorry about that. All of these require soaking. So you put them in a container like this, and you just fill it full of water, and it will swell up, and you'll know when it stops. And then you just take your seed and you just push it down in there, and it kind of closes over it a little bit. And so, like I said, the cone things worked really well for me. The flat ones not, but it's supposedly 100% focus clear. You know, I paid the money for it, that's what it said, but I didn't get anything. So,
Toby,
I think
Yes.
I'm understanding something I may have done wrong in the past. Did I hear you say I let it expand first and then that's when I put? Okay.
all right, because if you just sit the seed on top of it, the minute you start to misting it, seed's gone. They're really tiny and they are really lightweight. So even just spraying it with, to begin with, I don't really water them. I just spray them, the soil to get it wet. And if you put water on it, a good chance is it'll overflow out of the container or out of the little holder, and then you'll have a seed growing on the side of your medium, which is really hard to get up and out of the ground. All right.
Toby, with those grow pop, or with the first one that you used, the cone,
Uh-huh.
do you put soil in the cone or?
Nope, nope, nope,
So you
nope,
don't need any?
nope, nope.
Okay.
If you can see up here, the seed will go right out of the cone.
Okay.
Yeah. If you're lucky. Again, as you can see, this was my starter, and I had it in my yogurt containers. The minute, like I said, I get that second set of leaves, I moved it into a larger container. So we go from this to one of these, or even one of these. And then from here, it's usually going into the ground. Weather permits, you never know, okay? I started my seeds indoors January, February. I did my first transplant from the yogurt containers to small pots 4 to 6 weeks later. Not all of your seeds are gonna come up at the same time. So when they're on the tray, in a tray like this with the dome over it, kind of looks like that, you might get 8 to 10 seedlings come up. I wait until the majority of them are up, and then I take my cover off and let the rest of them come out. Because a lot of times, if you take it off, because oh, I got 3 babies there, I'll take it off, and that's what I got for that seed planting was 3 babies.
Oh.
The rest of them were like, hey,
You need a warmer.
yeah, you didn't protect me, I ain't coming out. If you loved me, you would have protected me. So, let's go to the next one. These are flowers that I grow from my garden for that little space I told you about, from bulbs. So I have dahlias, I have glads, I have cannas, I have everything but roses. I don't do roses.
Me neither.
I don't like them, but that's another story. Okay, select your seeds. Make sure that you don't look at the date. You don't want old seeds. So either the seeds that you got from plants last year or fresh seeds that you bought right now. Big box stores, okay, but you get your seeds. You buy or you make your seed mix. I have had the best luck growing by making my own. It's cheaper. Seed mix starter things can run $5 to $10 for the little bag. And if you're doing trays, you're out of bags very quickly, you know. So I do my mix, I put it in a container, spread, mix, spread, mix, spread, mix till I get to the top. And then, you know, this is a whole one of my little containers. So I got tons of soil to last forever. A little 2-pound grow bag won't even fill up one of these trays. So, you know, depending on your money situation, like I said, you can go this way or the choices are endless. Remember, I got my plan with the big long one that covers everything on a chain. I'm sorry. Everything. Select a place for your seedling. You don't want it by a cold draft. This will help a lot, but you really don't want it by a cold draft. You don't want it near a heater either, because if the seed and soil gets too hot, they're not going to be happy either. So warming mats or grow light, either one of those will kind of help you, but you want your soil, your seeds planted somewhere where they're not in a draft and they're not getting heat from a heater or ventilator or whatever you might have down there. Plant your seeds following the instructions on the packet. Optimal germinating temperatures for most seeds is somewhere in this range. Could go a little bit lower, but you want it in that range because you're going to get a good, healthy starter. And then one of the things that I do with mine is once all my leaves are up, at least once a day, I kind of just take my fingers and go through them. And it kind of gives them a sense of movement and the roots get a little stronger. So when you go to harden, they've already been exposed to that kind of slight movement. So don't go around slapping them. That's not what we want to do, right? Just take your fingers and just kind of little. And then again, little. You know, so you just want a little bit of movement because when you get ready to put them out for hardening, the air is killer. Air don't mess around.
Do you ever use a fan? I've read that a fan, I haven't done it myself, but use a fan to make the.
I tried that on my little bitty babies, and they all went. And so
On the lowest level.
very low. I might have been a mite high on mine. I'm not real sure. But I didn't do that again. So like I said, I just do a nice little, you know, just barely touch it and get it to move a little bit. And so it kind of gets used to that and the roots will get stronger. Once that gets
Is that your idea or did you read that in a book?
that's my own personal idea. Okay. I read about the fan and I tried the fan. And like I said, it was like road running. They all kind of leaned back and you could see their hair kind of blowing straight out in the breeze. And it was like, I don't think so. I really don't think that this is going to work. The hand thing works though. When I put them out for hardening, I put them out in the morning about 10 o'clock and it was mid-April. So it was probably about 60 degrees and the little breeze kind of went across the top of the table. They didn't move. They were like, hey, I got this. You know?
But I will say though, using a fan, if your fan is far enough away from your seedlings, it is a good way to kind of imitate what they're gonna, you know, what's gonna happen when you put them out in the real world. You know, I mean, they got to get tough.
Well, I've got so much of my dining room table that my husband won't give me anymore. So I really can't stick a fan up there as well as all my seedlings because I'd have to move. So I would not do that. Okay. Starting your vegetable garden or your flower garden, you got two ways. Direct sowing, and that's your seeds are planted directly in the ground outside. No fuss, no muss. You go out there, you dig a hole, you plant your seed, you walk away. That's the easy one. Transplanting, starting indoors from seeds, and then transplanting in the garden. This is a lot more time. It's a lot more challenging, and they will die. Some of them will die. That's just, thank God they have 100 seeds in a pack, right? You can do it again and again until you get it right. The ideal method to use depends on what you're growing, the size of the space you're actually growing in, the condition of your garden soil, and the amount of money and effort you're willing to spend. But I'm telling you, I have never had so much fun in all my life by myself. I get amazing things that come up. They're absolutely beautiful to watch them grow. Once they go outside and you actually get a tomato or a cucumber or a avocado or whatever, it's just like, I did this. I did this, So it's absolutely marvelous. So I'm going to give you a couple of pictures of my seed planting processes. Okay. Here's my first 6 feet, 35 feet long plot that I do in the middle of my green lawn. This was the first year. And as you can see, this is also the first year. As you can see, this is all 23, 24. I've got some more pictures, but all of this came up from seeds and small plant plugs and actual plants. So you can do anything. You can grow anything. Here's my moonflower. And as you can see, it comes out like this. And then as night comes, it opens up. And it's so white, it actually glows. It is absolutely beautiful. Mind-blowing. Here are my marigolds that I planted 202-25. And they're all ready to go into little pots now. So they grow really fast. They do really well.
Is that your dining room table?
That's my dining room table. You can see I have to buy new placemats. I thought that would save the table, but I ruined the placemats, so. Okay. So, again, this is my grow light on my seedlings. I use all kinds of things to do that with. Here they are. This is 2-8. So as you can see, some of them are coming up, some of them have not come up, but I got enough here that I was ready to take off my top. This is my entrance to my front door. I like plants. I really like plants. I've got Swiss chard, I've got moonflowers, I've got cabbage, I got snapdragons, I got bok choy, I got spinach, and I got marigolds. And so with the tray, you can kind of do like 6 and then start another row and then 6, start another row. Okay. Let's see. Okay, this is the same tree on the 1st of March, the same tray that I showed you earlier. And as you can see, I've already started to move some of them out into a bigger pot. And the bigger pots now will go directly into the ground. Oh yeah, they know me now. We're all friends now. In fact, they start tingling when I go past. Okay. Any question? Yes,
All right, am I too late if I want to start? I wanna
no,
start growing like the cat.
no,
Oh,
we
okay.
planted, I planted a, egg carton yesterday.
Okay.
Because I had some extra seeds left over. So all the way until I'd say mid-April, you're pretty good because a lot of the seeds from the library will say mid-April, June. So you can go all the way to there. After that, you're gonna be starting looking for fall planting. But seed-wise now, you're good. You're gonna get a seed today.
All
So
right.
you're, hey, I'm gonna get you started. After that, you're on your own.
So last year I grew this burgundy okra. It was just gorgeous. So I'm like, ooh, let me just keep a pod. So I kept a pod, let it dry, saved it. And this morning, because I was gonna plant it inside, I put it in water because I Googled and it said, let it soak. But they're all floating on the top. I don't think that's good, right? If they're floating, aren't they supposed to sink down to the bottom?
Not
I think
necessarily.
it might be okay. I'm gonna
I think
plant them and
yeah.
see, but
Yeah.
one of them sunk. The ones I got out of the pack that I bought, it was a green variety. They went right to the bottom. I'm gonna plant those too, but I was just wondering.
But the ones that you're planting now came from the original seeds,
Correct.
right?
They were
That
in
you
my
put-
yard
yeah,
last year. I grew
yeah.
them.
So those seeds I think are a little lighter
Yeah.
because the same thing with my tomato seeds. My tomato seeds, when I planted them the first time last year, they were a little larger
Uh-huh.
and a little heavier than the ones that I got. But I planted those this year and I got.
But
So we don't know.
most of the time, if seeds stink, those are the good ones, you know?
That's
So
what I
they
read.
could have an air pocket or something like that. And how long have you been soaking them?
I just, this morning, I put them
Okay.
in the water this morning. I was gonna plant them later on this afternoon or maybe. It said 12 to 24 hours to soak them, so I don't wanna over soak.
Yeah, but maybe when you go home, you'll see something.
Some difference.
We have a question online. It says, how long do you leave the plant outside to harden?
Oh,
On a
okay.
daily basis.
Okay, I start with the temperature at 50 degrees at least outside. I don't want a windy day. And I don't want a rainy day, but I wait for like maybe about 50 degrees. So we're talking like maybe 11 o'clock now, because it doesn't seem to catch up until around 11. I will put them out for an hour, but I'll keep looking out on them because air and wind change very quickly.
Yeah.
So you can put them out there and everything is calm and you go to the bathroom and you come back and it's like, oh my God, they're all dead.
Well, and the same with the sun, you know, you don't want them to get burned either.
Yeah, so the same, yeah, it's the same thing. So I have a very small, deck table and I have an umbrella. So I open up my umbrella just in case. And then I put my girls right on the edge of the table. So there's a little left over. And as the sun gets a little bit warmer, ease it back a little bit, ease it back a little bit. And then after an hour or an hour and a half, if the weather's really nice, bring them back in. And then the next day, 1.5, 2 hours. And I would do this for several days, maybe a week, out and in, out and in, a little bit longer. But if they've got the strong roots, they're ready for planting. They'll do fine. That's what you're really worried about is what's gonna happen when you put them in the ground and the wind starts to blow. The stem is really fragile, and once it breaks, plant's gone. You basically lost it, which is why I do the little.
I wondered about your grow light. Like, what kind of bulb makes it purple? Like, give it purple coloration to the light?
I have not got one that gives you a purple light. I got a white. That's a bad camera angle.
Is that what it is? Okay, I'm like, okay.
A bad one. This particular one has a red and a blue and a white light, and they kind of blend in. Now, according to the instructions with the grow light, they say that one color is very good for leafy vegetables, so if you're doing lettuce, bok choy, spinach and that kind of stuff, you use this color predominantly. If you're growing something else that's more thicker, like the sunflower seeds are a little harder, a little bigger, then you can switch the light to this little blue or red, and supposedly that gives the plant extra energy. I figured they're all gonna be green at the beginning, stick with white. And I never moved mine, but maybe, if you're trying something new, you might want to experiment and see what happens. But I figured coming out of the ground, they're all gonna be green. And most of the stuff I grow is gonna be green and leafy. So, my tomatoes, my lace, my spinach, bok choy, all of those. The marigolds, the zinnias, all very greeny, lacy, so I just leave white. Anything else? Yes.
The last 2 years, I have raised garden beds
Mm-hmm,
and I happened upon a Gurney's seed catalog
mm-hmm.
and they had seed tapes.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah, what?
See
I
what?
Seed
thought
tapes.
those were fantastic because I don't have a garage or any place to start really seeds in the house.
No.
Plus I have 5 cats and they would just want to go.
Yeah, oh, yeah.
So the seed tapes for me, it means I have to wait longer for the time to plant them in your raised beds, but I found that those were absolutely, and I've had good luck with.
Well, again, as I said earlier, when you do the seed route, it's going to be time consuming and it can become very expensive. If you get, into having all the stuff, plus you need the space. My garage is freezing now. So I would probably have to spend a couple of $100,000 just to get the garage warm enough so that I could plant my seeds. And if I did that, I would have so many seeds that I would still need another room. Because I couldn't put anything else in my garage. It would be all tables and seats, I'd be like a laboratory.
Toby?
I'll say too, I use the seed tapes as well in raised beds in the community garden. It's nice because it's spaced out, right? So, I think we've done beets and carrots and lettuce, all of those types of crops using the seed tape. I mean, it's a nice idea, as long as you don't have squirrels.
Things that you'd have direct seed.
Yeah, direct.
Yeah,
If you're gonna do direct seed, that's.
yeah, they're very good for that, yeah. But it's, the joy of it is, it's a catch-22. You're gonna get great results, and then you're gonna get something that's like, what is happening here? Why is this doing this? Or they'll come out of the ground and they're looking absolutely good, and you plant them, and then 4 of them is like 2 feet tall, and the other one is laying there like heart respiration. It's like, I'm not gonna make it. I'm telling you now, I'm not gonna make it.
Squirrels and the rabbits.
And if you have squirrels, if you have rabbits, if you have bulls. Okay. I found peppermint tea works very good for squirrels and rabbits, so they don't like the smell of it. And it's a lot cheaper than buying the anti-squirrel, anti-rabbit stuff.
Yeah.
It's also expensive. So
Do you spray it? You use a tincture and spray it? What do you do?
bags out of the box and throw them into the yard.
Oh, so you don't open it and just the whole tea bag?
Whole bag, throw them out the yard. You get 20 for about $3.99. The squirrel repellent is something like $12, $14.
Yeah.
The squirrel balls are like, $12 or $14 for 12. And the minute it rains, they're gone. The tea bags, a lot cheaper.
Raise.
Or
Yeah, when it rains, it makes tea, so.
With direct sowing, like you put the seed right in the ground, do you also still use that mixture? Or you just use just the
Just
whatever?
using the regular soil. Although I do add a little 10-10 to my soil, and I do add a little peat moss. Yeah, so I want that topsoil to be kind of light and fluffy.
And if you're doing a raised bed, get raised bed soil. I know it's more expensive, but in the long run, you're
You get better, yeah, you get better soil. Because the heavy soil, the roots can't grow through it. They're far, think of a brand new baby just out of the womb. We got nothing here. We got no support whatsoever. We're depending on you for everything. And that's the first little plants that come up, they're a little bit thicker than one strand of your hair. So it will fall over, even if you put water on it, it'll fall over and die. Speaking of which, I found out today, oh, this is called a mister. So you put it, you have to buy it. You put it on the edge of your hose, and then you push the hose, and what comes out is a fine spray. So for your young little babies, that's probably what you're going to do for a while until they get strong enough to actually handle water from a hose. Because everything is very fragile when you're going into the ground. So you want to be very careful about it. Like I said, seeding isn't easy, but my God, it's so much fun. I love it. And somebody always comes over and goes, oh, you know what? I put a little pepper in my plant on the edge and it grew twice as big. So I got 10. I'll add a little pepper to one and see what happens. You know,
When you take like a yogurt cup or, something that's been used before, how do you clean it? Like, do you put bleach in it? Like,
I would not use bleach. I use my
what do you call it?
washing machine,
Dishwasher. Okay.
and I put it on gentle.
Okay.
And I just flip them up, I just flip them upside down and stick them on the little ring thing and do a gentle wash. And supposedly it's sanitized.
Dishwasher.
Yeah, dishwasher. It has like a little sanitizing component. I'm uncomfortable with bleach because, it's like,
Yeah.
did you really rinse it all out? Is there any residue on there? I really try not to do that unless I'm putting a capful in a bucket of water. Then I feel pretty calm with that, but I don't use it as a cleaning tool if I can avoid it. Okay, so I think there's one more.
There's a question. There's a question in the chat. When do we start vegetable seeds for our zones?
Oh, yeah.
You can start indoor seedlings now. Outdoors, I wouldn't do it until the first frost. Now, according to the almanac, it's supposed to be April the 1st. Because I've been watching this pretty closely. It's supposedly the last frost is April 1st. I've also found out that the ground temperature needs to be 50 degrees or higher. And again, April 1st, maybe April 2nd, maybe April 10th. It's kind of it's kind of
So like right now you can start your tomatoes, your peppers, anything like that. Things like squash or zucchini. I tended to direct seed them, and I would wait until, like she says, the ground is at least 50 degrees to start those types of seeds.
Yeah. And most of those things can be put in mid-April or even early May. So, you want to be pretty sure that your ground is the right temperature. Now, ground temperature and air temperature are two different things. So ground temperature is pretty stable and it increases slowly.
Yeah, and watch the weather. Watch, if the weather's calling for a frost, go out there and cover your babies up.
Yeah.
Like I've got a cold frame that's about yay by yay that I've had lettuce in even through some of our cold weather this past winter. But these are things that are it's cold hardy items.
Yeah.
I would not try tomatoes and peppers in there at all.
Yeah.
Because there's different vegetables that'll take different temperatures.
Yes,
And
different kinds.
like now is your peas and your potatoes and your onions. You can start planting those within the next few weeks.
So that's a very important thing to be aware of. Look at the back of your package because some of them will say indoor starting. And then some of them will only say direct soil. So you need to kind of look at what it is you're buying before you actually purchase. Because that makes a difference. I would like to have a couple of cold frames. I don't know if the the homeowners association will allow me to dig up
You
any
just
more
sort of
grass.
tuck them back out of the. We don't see it.
Yeah, we don't see it, so we'll see what I can get away with. Next year, I'll either be here again or I'll be in jail. I think I got one more slide about, Kent County Master Gardeners. We offer 3 to 4 garden workshops every year on a variety of research-based garden topics, such as this one. We offer a garden advice program where a team of master gardeners will come to your home anywhere in Kent County, and they will help you with your lawn or garden questions. So you would call us and say, I have 3 issues I'm really concerned about. Hopefully we will research that, and then we'll come to your house and we'll figure out what you got, what you need, what your issues are. We'll go back, we'll use all those experts up in, Newcastle.
Yeah, yeah, and some in Sussex, yeah.
And yeah, I mean, PhDs up the wazoo up there. And they know they stuff. I mean, I fell in love with Brian, who does the bugs, and it's just like, oh, yeah, I didn't ever know I liked bugs. Amazing. Anyway, they do disease, they do insects, and they know their stuff. So they will check stuff out, they will give us back information, and we will immediately come to you and hopefully give you a solution. That has a fee. As a resident of Kent County, we have a helpline, and the helpline is, you call me, you bring me a sample, you send me a picture, you tell me what you're concerned with, or even send me, I don't know what this is.
April to October.
Yeah, okay, April to October. And again, we'll push it up there to Newcastle, and all those experts will look at it, tell you what it is, what you can do to fix it, push it back down to us, and then you will get a written report.
Is that free?
That's free.
That's free.
This one is free. Okay, and then this one up here is free. And then if you are interested in doing this, I can't tell you how nice it is to have somebody come up here and stand who was actually lost money planting seeds, lost money buying plants, lost money buying starting mixes that didn't work. So you've got people who are growing and working in their own yard. Plus, you got the resources of all the biggies up in Newark and Newcastle. I can never remember that. I don't know why.
I have a question.
Psychological.
How does all of this work if you have a greenhouse? If you put the plants and stuff in?
Well, in greenhouse, you got a little bit more control over the climate, the temperature, and outside influences like pests and bugs, you know. Takes a lot for a bug to get inside your greenhouse.
Oh, cool.
Although, if you buy a bad plant, it's possible, you know?
Wait a minute.
Or you let people come into your house, into your greenhouse, you would be surprised at what sticks to your clothes. You know, you never even noticed it, but it took a ride in, and you know, so you got much more control, but basically you're doing the same thing. Yeah,
Playing
you know, you gotta
You play
start them. Yeah.
Yeah, in a greenhouse, you know, you're gonna use fans, it's gonna be more, more relatable, like that you're out, you know, you've got the sun, you've got the shade, so it's actually a little bit, it makes them, I would say, tougher than in the house with the same light all the time. But you know, if you're starting stuff in the greenhouse, you've got way more room and way more opportunity than your kitchen table. I mean,
I still want it, yeah.
it would be the same process, right? So you.
Cause I can cook dinner while my
At the same time.
up and down things, so yeah, you know, but anyway, if you're interested, I would highly recommend this. I got to travel to Suffolk County as a Newark to Delaware. That was amazing for me. I got to travel up to Newcastle, which also is very interesting. They have a beautiful garden on site. And so I saw things growing I had never seen. I saw black cotton. I've never seen that before. So you get to travel. You and me both, honey. Anyway, I got to travel. I got to travel to see all 3 sites. I learned from the experts up there who know their stuff. And again, to me, the really great thing was these are people who had orchards, who had huge gardens, who had come from, they had a whole garage and guest rooms, and they had ripped all of that out and built an orchard in their yard. So I know this person knows the good and the bad. And so you're really comfortable with that. You go to an expert for advice. You don't go to somebody who said, well, I might have done that once before, but I'm not sure. So you have access to that as a master gardener. You get a chance to go to their lab, you get a chance to go to their garden, you get a chance for them to come and show you stuff right in the yard. So I was like, you have an orchard in Delaware? Couldn't believe that. What do you grow in an orchard in Delaware? Delaware is cold. But anyway, I mean, I came from California where you could grow anything. I mean, you threw it out there on the dirt and you'd have a flower in a week.
So if anyone is interested in becoming a master gardener, so applications are due May 16th. So if you're interested, you can just Google DSU Master Gardeners and it takes you right to the website about becoming a master gardener. We have the helpline, we have workshops, as Toby's done, speaking engagements. It's really a great group of people. So
Yeah.
I encourage you to apply. Training does begin in the fall on Mondays and Wednesdays from 9:30 to 12. And like she said, we have 2 days a week, and it's from September 3rd until the end of November, right before Thanksgiving. So, but it's really a wonderful group of people. You'll learn a lot. You'll get to meet a lot of people, and most of the presentations are done by professionals that work at University of Delaware, professors, as well as people in the green industry. So, it's really an awesome group.
Yeah. So like I said, I met a great bunch of people who knew lots and lots of stuff that I didn't know. And they had great food at every meeting, which is also a plus. And so if you're interested, I would definitely recommend that. The more you know, the better you go.
How much does it cost?
You need to talk to Megan.
It's $175. It's a one-time fee. What a bargain for the rest of your life to be a part of the Master Gardener program.
Yeah.
Get soil testing.
Yes,
Every other year.
and you get to build a notebook as you go. And yeah, and you get a hand lens, you get a soil test kit. What else comes with it? A notebook.
Yeah.
A name badge.
Name tag.
A wealth of knowledge.
And you have all those resources that you can use. I can still, as a finished master gardener, I can still call the headline and ask for advice. I could still, connect with Jill and Brian and say, hey, I just got this thing in my yard and now it's doing this thing. And what do I need to do that thing? And so it's like you got a lifetime connection to those people and what they do. And I have met some fantastic people, and I don't like everybody. So that's very important, very important. So thank you very much for coming.